Hello everyone, welcome to the very first video of Hans Brody's Garage. I am Hans and today I would like to take you for one lap of the Nürburgring Nordschleife in my Porsche 997 Turbo from 2007 with a Tiptronic transmission and about 150,000 kilometers on the clock. I am by no means a professional driver and I just started driving the Nordschleife last year and did about 30 laps. So this session marks my first laps of the Nordschleife in 2019, and this is lap 4 of 4-lap session on a Sunday during Touristenfahrten. Starting the lap, I leave a gap to the M4 before me, and as we go past the Bielstein Bridge, we start our timer. Unlucky for the M4, it is caught immediately in traffic and we are catching up to it quite quickly. During Touristenfahrten you are only allowed to pass on the left of drivers, which will cause almost an accident as you see later on in the lap. Here the M4 is now staying to the right and I go past as I think the driver just lets me by to see what I'm able to do, and he will start following me quite closely and I try to push and get away from him. In front of us the white BMW is going quite quickly, but I think I could have gone a bit faster here through the Hatzenbach section, and we will soon see that the BMW also lets us by and then we can crack on again. Coming to the Quittelbacher Höhen section, I think it's called. The car is going about 210, 220 here, so I brake before the lift off, brake again for the corner and then power through this long turn. Now everything is going flat out towards Schwedenkreuz and my top speed is about 255, 260 kilometers a year. And then we enter this left-hand turn, Schwedenkreuz, which is quite hairy, still going 180 kilometers an hour. Then we go down to Fuchsröhre, which is a compression area and it's also quite quick. So the car reaches about 220 again through here, and it takes a lot of guts to not lift and not brake. This section is called Adenauer Forst and I think it's quite tricky to hit the apex right, and as you see I missed it a bit, so there's definitely some time improvement I can pick up in this section on future laps. Now we are coming up to a slow corner which is called Kallenhardt, which I completely blunder here. I miss the apex, I turn in too early and really screw up the line there. The M4 is still behind us and following closely. I think by now I'm holding him up a bit, he might drive closer, but also he's not close enough to pass, so I power on and see how his distance behaves to us through this very slow corner called Versailles. We're coming up to the bridge in Breitscheid, I believe, and the M4 is still behind us, but the distance stays equal, so I'm thinking I might stay ahead of him here and maybe leave him by for the later part of the lap, where I'm not so sure about the lines and where I think I'm quite slow compared to other drivers. This is Lauda links, where Niki Lauda burned, and shout out to him, rest in peace. He's an amazing inspiration. We are going through Bergwerk towards Kesselchen, which is flat out, and I leave the M4 by to see how fast he will go and whether I can stay behind. Spoiler alert, he has so much more speed through here that I completely lose him, and also we will get a bit unlucky with the traffic, and I don't have the balls to pass in this more narrow section of Kesselchen, so I wait and stay behind this still quite fast E36 BMW and then pass him here before Mutkurve. But looking in my rear view mirror, I can already see another fast car coming up, so I stay to the right and let him pass. It's a GT3 RS with an experienced driver, which is going quite quickly, as you can see. Now we are coming up to the famous carousel, and also we hit some traffic, AMG GT I think, and I also see another GT3 RS in the distance. We go past here on the left and enter carousel. Luckily the Ford Focus stays up top, so we can also pass him through the carousel and drive towards Ruhe 8. Quite a flowing section of the Nürburgring, which I really enjoy driving, but still I think you can go a bit quicker here. Also I blundered the entrance here a bit, so that my line is not perfect. Generally I would say my line needs a lot of improvement, and my goal for this season is to go sub 8 minutes, which I think for Porsche Turbo is already an okay-ish time, even though I've seen people in much less powerful cars go even quicker, so I think I have a lot to learn. Now very famous section with spectators, the Brünnchen is coming up, and I hit the apex here and the curb, which I didn't mean to do, but the car turned in more than I expected. So next up you can hear the crackling of Lancer Evolution in front of us, which we are catching up here through Eiskurve, and apparently he wants to let us by. You see here he's braking for the turn, but I was prepared to go by on the outside, so yeah, we almost crashed. So yeah, he didn't stick to the right as I expected, and that's why yeah, I didn't make the turn there quite well. Approaching the last few corners of the Nürburgring, which also are not my strong corners, I think. Here I need to improve even more. Hit the apexes better and then be on full throttle. Here with the mini carousel also I turned in much too early, also expectance of the Volvo, which is in that turn. Now this is the last turn before, or the last long turn before the Audi bridge, which marks the stoppage for the time, and we will come out at roughly 8 minutes 21, so I have a long way to go till sub 8 minutes. I hope you enjoyed watching, and please subscribe for more laps of the Nürburgring.